Ghostly tales, yet mirrors of human life. Hey everyone! Welcome to Encountering Chinese. Ghostly Tales from Zhai. Today, I'm going to tell you two short stories. The first story is titled Woman from Jinling. In Yishui County, there was a man surnamed Zhao. Let's call him Mr. Zhao for now. One day, as Mr. Zhao returned from the city, he saw a woman dressed in white crying by the roadside. Her cries were particularly mournful. Mr. Zhao glanced at the woman and found her to be very beautiful, unintentionally developing feelings for her. Mr. Zhao stopped in his tracks, gazing at the woman for a long time. With tears streaming down her face, the woman said to Mr. Zhao, "Sir, why stop here and look at me?" Mr. Zhao replied, "Seeing this desolate and deserted place, and witnessing your profound sorrow, it truly saddens my heart." The woman said, "My husband has passed away, and I have nowhere else to go, which is why I am grieving." Mr. Zhao then advised her to find another good husband, but she replied, "Alone as I am, what choices do I have? If I can find someone to entrust my life to, I would be satisfied, even if I become a concubine." Mr. Zhao gladly offered himself, and the woman agreed to accompany him. Mr. Zhao suggested hiring a carriage since his home was far away. However, the woman insisted, no need. So, Zhao set off ahead. Overjoyed, he walked with a light and airy step, resembling a celestial being on a brisk stroll. Upon arriving at Mr. Zhao's home, the woman diligently managed the household chores. 2 years passed, and one day, the woman said to Mr. Zhao, "To express my gratitude for your affection, I followed you initially. Unknowingly, almost 3 years have passed, and it's time for me to leave." Surprised, Mr. Zhao asked, "You said you had no home before, but where can you go now?" The woman replied, "I was just saying things casually. My father sells medicine in the city of Jinling. If you want to meet me again, you can transport some medicine there, and we can help you earn some money." Mr. Zhao made preparations for the woman's departure, even renting a carriage for her. However, she declined and left without a trace, disappearing in the blink of an eye. After a long time, Mr. Zhao missed the woman greatly. He purchased a batch of medicinal herbs and arrived in Jinling. After storing his goods in an inn, he wandered through the marketplace in search of the woman. Suddenly, an old man in a pharmacy spotted him and exclaimed, "My son-in-law has come." Saying this, he invited Mr. Zhao into the shop. The woman was washing clothes in the courtyard and, upon seeing Mr. Zhao, remained silent and expressionless, continuing to focus on her task. Feeling angered by the woman's cold reception, Mr. Zhao turned to leave. However, the old man forcefully pulled him back, and the woman still showed no signs of emotion. The old man arranged for a meal and prepared a generous gift for Mr. Zhao. The woman intervened, saying, "He has a modest fortune, giving him too much would be beyond his capacity to bear. It's best to mildly comfort him and select a dozen or so medicinal formulas, which should be enough for him to live comfortably for a lifetime. When the old man asked about the medicines Mr. Zhao brought, the woman replied, "I've already sold them for him, and the money is right here." Thus, the old man handed over the medicinal formulas and money to Mr. Zhao and saw him off. Back home, Mr. Zhao tried the medicinal formulas and discovered their remarkable effects. Even today, there are people in Yishui County who know about these medicinal formulas. For instance, one formula recorded using crushed garlic in a garlic mortar to collect rainwater dripping from the eaves of a thatched roof for washing off warts has proven to be exceptionally effective. The second story is titled Magic Tricks. There was a man who performed magic tricks using a bucket that could only hold a liter of rice. The bucket had no bottom, and he showed it to others, appearing empty inside. People thought this magic was no different from the ordinary ones. At that moment, the man laid 2 mats on the street, put a liter of rice into the bucket, and immediately took it out. Suddenly, the bucket was filled with a whole liter of white rice. The man poured the rice onto the mats, repeated the process, and in no time, both mats were stacked with several liters of rice. Then, he poured the rice back into the empty bucket, liter by liter. After filling it completely, he raised the bucket to show everyone, and it was still empty inside. The magic was astonishing, especially considering the large quantity of rice that seemed to appear from nowhere. In Lijin County, there was a man named Li Jiantian. One day, while wandering around Yan Town, he came across a pottery kiln. Li Jiantian wanted to buy a large jar, so he negotiated with the owner of the kiln. Unable to agree on a price, Li Jiantian left in a huff. During the night, over 60 unfinished jars in the kiln disappeared mysteriously. The kiln owner, shocked and suspecting Li Jiantian, went to his residence to plead for help. Li Jiantian denied any involvement at first but eventually admitted to helping move the jars. He said, "I delivered those jars for you, and not a single one got damaged. Go check under the Kuaishing Tower, you should find them there." The kiln owner followed his instructions, and indeed, all the jars were under the Kuaishing Tower. Kuaishing Tower is located south of Yanjin, more than 3 miles away from the pottery kiln. The owner of the kiln had to hire people to transport the jars, and it took 3 days to complete the task. In this tale, there's a mention of the architectural marvel known as Kuaishing Tower, also called Kuaishing Boudoir. Similar structures with the same name can be found in many places across China. Inside, these buildings house an honored deity, Zhong Kuei, who is revered for safeguarding a smooth examination process. However, Zhong Kuei's appearance starkly contrasts with the typical image of ancient scholars. He has a fierce countenance, a golden body, a green face, red hair, large eyes, 2 horns on his head, and stands atop a turtle. Zhong Kuei is often depicted holding a large brush, and people believe that if you are marked by his brush, your exams will go exceptionally well. Beyond his role in ensuring exam success, Zhong Kuei also serves as a judge in the underworld, responsible for punishing malevolent spirits. If you wish to explore more stories about judges in the afterlife, you can listen to the previously shared tale of Judge Lu in the Strange Stories from a Chinese Studio. Interestingly, in Tang Dynasty history, there indeed was a figure named Zhong Kuei. Alright. That's all for today's ghostly tales. Woman from Jinling and Magic Tricks. If you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. Please also encourage everyone to comment and share more. We'll see you in the next episode.